Now we're in a much better position on and off the pitch. You know, we are champions of England. You know, everything's set up for Liverpool to prosper and kick on. He doesn't want to be part of it, and that's confusing, and that's upsetting, and it's, you know, you can take a personal slight from it, because what it all comes down to for a lot of people is that, you know, a lot of us would give anything to play just one game for Liverpool, and he's got a chance to play another 300 and probably eventually captain it, and he's turning his back on that to do something else. And that's why it hurts, and I get all that. And when I say those words, it hurts me as well. But it is his life, and, you know, we're all entitled to take our own paths, and sometimes, you know, you can't do what other people want you to do, and that's the case for all of us, really. You've got to do sort of what's right for you, really. I think, you know, events over the last couple of weeks have probably helped in terms of, obviously, you know, the fact that we won the league, but also that big goal he gets, you know, will hopefully sort of help it be a slightly smoother exit than I thought it was going to look like a few weeks ago. But then if he still does get some shit, which might happen at Brighton or Palace or whatever, he's just sort of got a cough at that as well, and I'm sure he will. You know, he knows, he'll know this is a divisive thing. He doesn't live in a complete bubble. But it's you know, he's got to do what feels right for him, even if it does, you know, hurt people who I think he ultimately does care about.
People get to live their lives, Phil, and I'm not, you know, I as I say, I don't I think it's not what I'd do in this circumstance, insofar as one can place yourself into another human circumstance. I totally understand 20 years at one place, but I do think that, you know, that's maybe something you look at after the next contract or something like that. You know, that's maybe more where I am. I'm not. You know, I like and respect a player who plays for one club for the entirety of his career, but I don't think it's, you know, I've always quite liked, if you look at Guardiola's sort of football plan, I always, you know, that he ends up having a few adventures, a few crazy japes, but ultimately gives his best years to Barcelona. And I'm sort of, that's the one that I've always had my eye on. If you want to do all of that sort of how would you do it thing. So as I say, I'm not, but he does get to live his life. You know, he does get to have freedom of movement. I'm not going to begrudge anyone that, really, full stop. I'm not going to be, you know, that's not something I have got the energy to be angry about. He's ended up in a situation where his contract runs out. If someone's made him an offer and he thinks that is a challenge that he wants to take on, you know, I just haven't got the energy, and maybe I should have, but I haven't got the energy to rant and rave about that particularly, because, you know, I think it's benefited Liverpool often enough in the past as well, that sometimes a player can land on what they want the challenge of their career to be, and it can be coming from outside to come and be part of Liverpool. I just fucking wish it wasn't happening. I haven't got better words than that.
Yeah, I don't think I have, to be perfectly honest, so apologise for that. But yeah, it's just it's a bit hard. It's hard to take, I think, is the best way of putting it, really, in terms of it's a decision that we can't do anything about. We, you know, even having an opinion on it is a waste of time, in effect, because you're not changing his mind. You're not going to say, he's not going to go, well, why? He's going to basically look at you and go, well, why does it matter? You as you said, it is his life. He is free to do exactly what he wants. It's just, I just look at Liverpool now, and I'm not sure why you want to leave this. I don't understand how you can be in that ground last Sunday in front of the car for 25, 30, 40 minutes, however long it was, and think, I want to be somewhere else. I really, really struggle with that as a thing. Like, we were all in there thinking this is one of the best things we've ever seen, ever been a part of, and someone gets to be more of a part of it than we were. And then, well, I was going to say a week later, the reality was, I think the decision was probably made a good time ago, in terms of when you sort of read his thing, it sort of reads like it's a bit like, I decided this a while ago, I just didn't really want to talk about it. Maybe that's my interpretation's wrong, but that's sort of what I got from it. But yeah, standing there in front of the Kop last week, and you're thinking, I want to go and play in Madrid, where it's not like this. I mean, I've seen Madrid fans win European Cups in person, and it didn't look, you know, I'm sure they were having a nice time, but it wasn't that level of fun.